This thing I don't think has ever been cleaned. Bird feathers, some dog hair, some cat hair. So that's all gonna have to be replaced. That's a nice bird's nest in it. Doors rotted out, drywall seam is cracking. Holes in the tub. This bathroom's getting completely gutted as well because there's water damage. All right guys, day 3 here at the renovation. I've done pretty good in the time that I've had. This will be my first full day here. I mean, it's not really a full day, it's already 10 to 9, but I'm gonna spend all day here. And I'm gonna tackle this downstairs bathroom and laundry room first, which is covered in black mold, so I'm gonna have to wear a mask and try to get that all cleaned out. So, all right, get these covers off. Kill her. All right, I'm gonna take this whole wall out. All the drywall's coming out. Alright, I found when tearing old drywall out, if you score the corners across the middle, you can kind of work the screws and then you can get bigger chunks out versus taking a hammer and breaking it up into a bunch of little pieces. You kind of got a mess on your hand. And that's good, there's no mold up high. Not bad, really. Alright guys, I just want to address a couple things. So you can see I got this whole wall ripped out, and my concern is this black mold down along here. The master bathroom's on the other side. There's clearly been leaks that haven't been addressed, and we have some black mold. If you have some serious health issues and no one can tell you what is wrong with you, you should get tested to see if you have mold in your system. I know several people who have had doctors say, we don't know what's wrong with you, and then eventually, actually a friend just recently found out they had black mold in their house. They tested their kid that was really sick, and they had all kinds of mold in their blood. This house was built in the early 2000s, and so it's not that old. It's 20, 25 years old is all. And there's water leaks from things that weren't taken care of, toilets, faucets, and we aren't even to the outside walls of the house, like under windows and stuff like that, where that can be a huge issue too. If windows weren't flashed properly and you get water in there, it never dries out. Mold will literally start growing within 24 to 48 hours, and these can cause you some serious health issues. So this is why I'm ripping all of this wall out, because I want to make sure there is no mold growing up the walls where I can't see. I want to get this remedied. We're going to get this stripped down all the way to where I can get most of everything out. I will treat and dry out what's left. The floor is in really bad shape here, so we're going to have to rip all that out. But I'm going to go ahead and continue to rip these walls out here, get this opened up. I just wanted to mention that because I think it's a huge overlooked issue, is mold, especially black mold in our homes. They cause major health issues. All right, a quick note: if you don't want to have to re-skim coat your ceiling if it's textured, make sure you cut your drywall down about 6 inches from the ceiling. In my case, I'm having them all re-skim coated. All right, we got all the drywall ripped out of there. Now we are going to get our first taste of how this 1/4 inch subfloor is going to come out. This stuff is in several places. It's in the bathrooms, it's in this area, and it's in the kitchen. So we're going to see what we're working with right here. I know it's stapled down with staples, and there's a lot of staples. Question is, how long are the staples? We're about to find out. See right there is a lot of staples in this. Okay, 2x4, stick under there. Wasn't too bad, people. All right, so that came up not too bad. That is all black mold. That stuff will make you sicker than a dog, and you won't even know it. definitely have some rot down in there. You see that black mold, which is right across from the laundry, so not super surprising. Alright, I have the water off. In here getting this bathroom, and I hear water running. Not sure what's going on. Need to turn that off. That's what I hear running. Water heater, water heater, water heater, 2729. All right, meter is off, but that should stop dripping here once whatever leftover pressure. But look at this wall, man. It's bad. I'm gonna get the rest of this ripped out, get this drywall ripped out, the shower, the master's on the other side of there, so this will all come out. All right, I'm ripping away. There's the master shower. This is the garage wall. And I don't know if you remember me saying there was holes in the wall. Well, guess what came through the holes in the wall? Mice. So at least I know where the mice are got into the walls at for the most part, and that's the garage. So this whole tub's coming out. It's got holes in it. So that's all coming out anyway. So we'll be able to see more once we get that out. Hopefully I can get that out today. All right, we're all gutted. Half bath is gutted. One of the shutoffs doesn't work. I turned the main water on to get some water and it was shooting water everywhere, so I had to quickly shut it off. Black mold all in here. The toilets were leaking. Tub shower's got a hole in it. So that toilet was leaking, so all of this has black mold and's got to be replaced. I'm ready to get this tub out of here. I got to cut the copper pipe. I have this little kit. You just snap that onto the copper and it applies the right pressure. You just spin it and it cuts the pipe. So I get those pipes cut and then get this shower out. I'm not sure, should measure to see if it's, how deep it is, if I can get it out in one piece or not. Bad news is it will not come out here in one piece. Good news is I have a sawzall. Why am I taking this out in the first place? That's because there's holes in the tub that's inside. And now we have a 4-piece shower. All right, day 3, we've gutted that half bath and the master bathroom. The only thing I have left to do in there is replace the subfloor that needs to be replaced, but I want to go get the materials before I start ripping everything out, because I'm going to take the bottom plate out of some of those walls, get the subfloor out, and then I'll be able to slide one under there and then replace the bottom plate and then toe screw or nail down into a fresh bottom plate. But we're in the master bedroom. The upstairs bathroom is all along here. And this has all had water damage. You can see where it's been repaired, but it's still cracking. And so I'm going to cut part of this ceiling out. In the master bathroom, I'll show you here in a second, the main water pipes come up the wall, and then I think they 90 over it. And so I think I'll have access to all of the copper to be able to re-plumb all of the water lines and PEX, which would be epic to get all of the copper out of here. So first off, my plan, you can see this 4x8 sheet. I'm gonna take that whole sheet out and then basically square this up to the wall, there and there. And then in order to get this all out, I'm gonna have to see underneath how much room I have to work with these toilet flanges. If I have enough room, I'm gonna cut them off and then I can add pipe back on, but cut them off, cut the bottom plate, all the nails off the bottom plates, slide the bottom plates out, get this plywood OSB out, slide new subfloor down, get it nailed down, then replace the bottom plate and toe screw all of the studs back in place. And then I can add new toilet flanges. This right here, I'm gonna completely take that out. I'll leave the vent in, I'll cut it down below the floor, and then just put a coupling and connect the vent, but take all of this out because we're no longer gonna have a washing machine in there. I've decided I'm just gonna get rid of it. Washing machine's going downstairs. That is the 220 for the dryer. I can just leave that there with an outlet, or I can cap it off and just to keep access to it, and then disconnect it at the breaker. But that's the plan for in here. This is the main drain pipe for the upstairs bathroom and the 2 3/4 inch supply lines, which is awesome. So I'm hoping they should 90 and go that way, which I'm taking that ceiling out next, part of it, because there's water damage. And so that would give me access to replace all of this in packs. So we'll see how this goes and kind of get a plan. All right, I ended up taking the whole ceiling out here. This doesn't look, there was a little mold on top of the drywall, but not bad at all. But I'm pumped because I can replace all these copper pipes all the way to the basement. I did see where they cut the top of a joist out, which won't be a big deal. Once I get this copper out, I can patch on a 2x along here just to stiffen it up. I mean, it's been there for 20 something years and it's been fine, so. But I'll still beef that up. We're gonna put some can lights in here. I took this half off and then I'm like, well, might as well take that half off, then they won't have to try to match the height and do all that, and I can add can lights where I want. Because I think we're going to put the bed over here. Only downside is there's only one outlet. They only put an outlet right in the center of each wall, so I'm not sure what I want to do. I'll talk to Emily and see what she thinks, but got all the gutting done on the main floor except for the kitchen floor and then this. And like I said, I want to get all of the supplies before I dig into that. I did check, I can cut the toilet flanges off below and then use a union to get them back up, so that'll work perfect. Taking that washer hookup out, I have access to that orange wire now all the way down to the basement, so I should be able to get that pulled out or leave it, I don't know. But now I'm gonna tackle this floor and try to get this flooring all out. All right guys, I'm starting to take up this floor. And one thing that I found over the years when taking up different kinds of subfloor, if you sacrifice a blade and you cut sections, typically ends up being a lot easier. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of cutting sections, so I'm not trying to lift a full 4x8 sheet, and it's making it a lot easier. Day 3 is a wrap. Got half of the kitchen subfloor out. Back here, we got the laundry room gutted, the 1/4-inch subfloor out, got the half bath gutted, subfloor out. Have the master bathroom gutted, subfloor out. We are going to have to replace some of this, obviously. And then got the ceiling out of the master bedroom. There was a little bit of mold up here, but everything else looks great. So I'm pretty pumped about that. All right, that's gonna be a wrap on day 3. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share us with your friends, and don't stop dreaming.